So, what do you want to talk about? Coming up on today's wrestling news, WWE fan fury continues over the Rock Cody Rhodes controversy.
There was fears for wrestlers' safety after a WWE NXT production gaffe.
Why Nijax originally turned down a WWE return.
And the STARDOM founder is out. We will talk about some rumours of him possibly going to WWE and everything to do with that.
I'm Adam Wilborn.
I'm Michael Hamflett.
And this is the news. One obvious place to start today. It's been all everyone's talked about over the weekend. The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, WrestleMania 40 main event for the belts, etc., etc. It has trended. It's done nearly like 400,000 tweets. It was number one. It's trending ahead of Real Madrid and Mbappe being linked.
Mbappe, more like.
Yeah, and I was thinking, with everyone talking about it, I could create a little hashtag, We Want Cody. So stick that out there.
Get that out there. You heard it here first.
So yes, everyone is very upset about The Rock kind of taking Cody's spot, presumably. Nothing has officially been announced yet, but presumably going on to fight Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, whilst Cody gets the consolation prize of fighting, presumably, Seth Rollins for the other belt that Roman buried on SmackDown. But
it's pretty annoying.
Yeah, the controversy has rolled on. It wasn't just on social media. Last night was, of course, NXT Vengeance Day. Brilliant show. We'll talk all about it a little bit later on today. What Culture Wrestling Podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. And we're going to be live on YouTube reviewing SmackDown, but basically talking more about this on the What Culture Wrestling Podcast YouTube channel. There were chants, there were signs that we saw on camera, along with Simon, please give this an up sign that I saw in like the first 10 seconds of the show, which was awesome. Thank you as always for that. There was booing when they did promotional stuff either for here's what happened on SmackDown in case you missed it, or even just this is the WrestleMania press conference on Thursday. People, Michael Hamflett, yourself included, are not happy.
It's not great, is it? I think the best way to articulate this to you guys this morning is the same way we kind of articulated. There's a Josh Brown in the office.
Yes.
Who was taking a passing interest, Josh Brown of What Culture Gaming, wherever you get your podcast and videos, he's great. Taking an interest in Royal Rumble WrestleMania season, wrestling, being back in the conversation, all that sort of thing. And basically, after WWE ruined their own monopoly and chased all of those fans that were angry all of those years between, I would say, maybe 2008 with the PG move and 2016 when you had that like dreadful WrestleMania main event, the Brock Lesnar years, the Roman Reigns years, all that sort of stuff, all of them just went to AEW.
Yeah.
So the voices of discontent disappeared because they just found a new wrestling product to watch. And that sort of, like in recent years, has coincided with, from 2022 onwards, fans in WWE buildings largely being quite content with the product under Triple H's stewardship at least. And then they located in one segment a brand new generation of haters. Like, overnight, a bunch of fans that had been maybe either new to it or had come in through Cody or had just felt engaged, like younger audiences, whatever. Ultimately, a fan base that were largely relatively content with the product that hadn't yet had their fingers burnt, had them burnt clean off. There was no hands left, there was no arms, they burnt right up to the shoulders over the course of one main event segment on SmackDown, which, we'll be reviewing, we'll be talking about. I feel like this is going to be dominating the conversation. This isn't the end of the booze, is it?
No.
Like if Cody...
With St. Louis tonight, they're in Raw. People are talking about hijacking the show.
If Cody starts his promo the way we started this news...
It's fighting Shinsuke Nakamura again for some reason.
Yeah, we're just asking questions. Or are we? I don't even know. It's like, there's a million different ways to kind of come at this. I don't think there will be any change. You might disagree with that. I don't think any of this noise being made is going to make a difference. I think this is just... The Rock's going to rock. WWE's going to run this story. Roman and The Rock is massive.
Oh, yeah.
This is the only thing kind of like working against it. These are not the days quite of the Big Show and Kane throwing your favourites out the Rumble. Roman Reigns and The Rock is a massive, massive match. And I'm not just saying...
Doesn't need a title, though, does it?
It absolutely does not. This is it. Like, there are boring arguments about WWE's business and the bottom line. But who cares about that?
Making record numbers anyway.
Money's not going in our pocket, is it?
Yeah, I'm conflicted by all this because I'm a huge fan of The Rock. He's my childhood hero, and I've always wanted to see him. I don't care if he just sets his name on fire, to be perfectly honest. He doesn't have to work.
I wish he was just doing that.
Going to get injured. But so I'm conflicted by that. I'm less angry about everything else because, I agree. I don't think they are going to change plans because I think it's been the plan all along. I think it's a work. I'm back, baby.
I was going to say, I've never heard that from you before. we'll have a deeper dive on that segment. Roman Reigns' remarks before it, all that sort of stuff. That'll be on YouTube in a SmackDown review / Q&A today. Yeah. We're going to double the two up for a change, make it a bumper supersized one.
Apologies to all the other matches on SmackDown. We won't be talking about them that much.
No, there was a big segment elsewhere on the show that got lost in the conversation.
That was awesome.
As well. Listen, I will say this though, like if Cody isn't main eventing night 2, it means he might be free on Sunday. And I'm hearing rumours about CM Punk, Kazuchika Okada. Stick Cody on the list. Yeah. If you're doing nothing with your Sunday, Cody, God, I hope you still are. But why don't you come and join us at the name of the venue in Philadelphia?
Underground Arts.
Underground Arts for It's Always Sunny at What Culture. You can't get a VIP ticket now. They're all sold out. But WWE don't think you're a VIP. They're just basically putting you in the general sales section of WrestleMania. So buy one of our tickets at whatculture.com/tickets. We're not saying Cody Rhodes will be there, but right now we're not saying he won't be.
The card, just like WrestleMania 40, is subject to change.
Yeah, you can get your tickets at whatculture.com/tickets. Simon Miller will be there. Not just us dicking around talking nonsense like this. Actual good stuff.
You can hijack their show if you want. I won't mind.
Do you know what I'm not worried about?
What?
At the live show is snapping my neck, which apparently WWE wrestlers had to be in the market leaders ring last night. Look, one was visible, a couple of others were less so, but there were some fears for the well-being of the four in the opening match of last night's NXT Vengeance Day. Clearly, it was Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin scoring the victory over Carmelo Hayes.
The Wolf Dogs!
The Wolf Dogs, couple of assholes on bikes, winning the Dusty Cup.
You love it.
The finish saw Carmelo Hayes absorb a spear, ostensibly for Trick Williams.
Good friend. So
things did not turn out too well in the main event for the two of them. More of that on the podcast channel, wherever you get them. And there was a visible moment where Bron Breakker cracked his head on what appeared to be a loose top rope while delivering a spear.
It happened a while back with Nathan Fraser, didn't it?
We just thought that was because he goes so fast.
Yeah.
But then also Carmelo Hayes appeared to be wobbled by something. Wrestlers take bumps, you never know, but looked to be a little bit rattled as the match wore on. And Fight for Select came through, just with a little update to say, quote, during the Dusty Rhodes Classic final, rope tightness was questioned after two scary spots involving Bron Breakker and Carmelo Hayes. It was said all involved in the match came out of it a little banged up.
Jeez.
So not an easy night for all four, and certainly not something you would expect from WWE.
No.
Ever, really. Kind of unacceptable with their budgets and production quality and what we kind of typically assume with WWE rings and all that sort of stuff. So all four banged up. No word yet on if that extends to actual injuries. I guess we might hear more on Tuesday, and we can at least assume that Trick was good to go in the main event. They were going to let him go out there if he was damaged beyond that. But not great.
Yeah, banged up is bad enough. Just glad that no wrestler suffered a serious injury, because it's kind of 101, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've helped build a ring, i.e. I'll carry a board for you. I didn't do anything else in WCPW, and that was a stretch, to be perfectly honest. But not a good look for WWE.
No.
That
the Braun one was frightening.
Yeah, especially with the speed and the size of him. Hopefully. I mean, I assume they fixed it because it didn't seem to be an issue the later on the show went.
Yeah.
So it feels like when they were doing one of a million adverts on Peacock, they went, we're going to sort that out probably. But not good that whatsoever. Let's talk about Nia Jax. She's back. She's the best in WWE. And she apparently was going to be back sooner. She obviously popped up in this year's Royal Rumble and last year's Royal Rumble. I always get confused because they start the year, so 2024 and 2023. Could have happened in 2022 though. She sat down with the brilliant Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful and revealed she was offered a spot in the 2022 Royal Rumble, but she said, I was offered a spot the year before, that's 2022 of course, and I said in more colourful language, no, I wasn't in a mindset to be in the Royal Rumble. Last year I was definitely in more of a place. It was great, I'm glad I did it. At first I wasn't thinking of coming back and doing it full time, but once I got that out there and felt the crowd, I was like, maybe I should get back in shape and see what happens. I'm very much glad that she did. We bumped into her at a few wrestling events. Miller, I say interviewed her, she put lip gloss on him and clearly wasn't really that keen talking about wrestling, so it's understandable that, maybe she was just sort of out of the loop, and it's good for people sometimes to take a step back if that's what they need mentally for that sort of thing. But I'm glad that just that little taste she got in 2023 has led to where we are today, because one would assume, I mean, they've not announced it, I don't think, but one would assume it's Rhea versus Nia for the world title at Elimination Chamber in Australia, of course.
Possibly main event in a stadium.
Might announce that tonight, I suppose.
Indeed. Yeah, and if you look at the timelines as well, a good bit of business from Nia Jax here. Like the Rumble 2022 sucked ass.
Yeah.
But also it was within 6-7 months after she was released.
Yeah.
Like, there was some, the WWE between 2020 and 2021, still kind of within the grip of the pandemic. We had a lot of unceremonious releases, didn't they? Like Nia Jax was working for WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken, WrestleMania 37 in the tag title match maybe, alongside Shayna Baszler still by then.
I think so.
But yeah, so she was released in 2021. So you can understand why things might have still been a little bit raw for her and wrestling in WWE in 2022, and then as time
Look at the way she was received in 2023 after all.
Exactly, and like we've talked before about how time away benefits pretty much every wrestler, so
I can't think of a better person to do that spot with Jade Cargill where someone's cleaning in the ring and Jade Cargill comes in. I thought it was brilliant, one of the highlights of the Rumble for me.
A wise move, as you say, a good headspace decision, and the Nia Jax that has returned has one that, like, by and large, has surprised almost everybody compared to the volume of the criticism upon when she first returned.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say I wasn't exactly the biggest Nia Jax supporter a while back, but now I think she knows her role and she plays it perfectly.
Absolutely. Do you know who doesn't know his role anymore? Stardom founder and now former executive chairman Rossy Ogawa. He is out of Stardom. This is a significant story in and of itself, but there's a little bit more meat on the bone as well about what he might do next and some of the sort of other sort of spin-off bits of news off this. For those that aren't aware, Rossy Ogawa, the founder and former executive producer of Stardom, the man, credited and with everything to do with Stardom, ultimately creating it, and then the kind of like critical and financial acclaim it's had across the 2010s and early 2020s, but he is now gone. In a statement released by Bushy Road, who run Stardom and New Japan, they own Stardom and New Japan, they said, since 2019, the company has entered into the agreement with Rossy Ogawa, the founder of Stardom, and invited him to serve as executive producer and has entrusted him with Stardom-related tasks. However, we have recently become aware that Mr. Rossy Ogawa has been poaching a number of Stardom athletes and staff members and decided to terminate his agreement. We sincerely apologise for any concern this may have caused. We, the players and staff of Stardom, will continue to make concerted efforts to further develop Stardom and to deliver excitement to our fans. We look forward to your continued support. So yeah, just to be kind of clear there, the phrasing of poaching, when obviously he's within Stardom, is that perhaps he was taking talent upon himself and helping them go elsewhere. That appears to be the implication. Old heads might remember the same rumour being around Todd Gordon within ECW filter into WCW in 1997. That's not me saying that, I'm just saying that appears to be the speculation. To be fair to Ogawa, he immediately kind of responded to this on X following his release. Quote, "The truth may be told someday. I'm worried about the wrestlers right now." Dave Meltzer has followed up on the reporting to say that many Stardom wrestlers are loyal specifically to Ogawa and may leave when a bunch of contracts come up in March. The contracts typically work in cycles and a load of them are coming free. Julia, of course, one of Stardom's biggest names, is set to sign for WWE. That's all but confirmed, and she has conducted her business with Stardom. And as well, there was just a fightful add-on to this whole story where there have been rumours last week when the news first started to filter through about Ogawa's exit between New Japan and AEW that he could be WWE bound. So all of this is very ifs and buts at the moment. Obviously, Bushy Road haven't hidden their intentions and reasons behind the release, and Ogawa seems to be coy to a point, but I guess we'll see how this all turns out in the wash. Huge news from an executive standpoint, and one of the top leaders of one of the top promotions suddenly no longer being in the role.
Major accusations,
indeed,
in the words of Rick Ross. Intrigued to see what he does next. Intrigued to see, like you say, regardless of the allegations and what have you, whether or not talent follows him. Because obviously he has a great deal of influence. Wish him best in whatever he does next. Of course, I'm very grateful for Stardom being a thing. But yeah, Tony Khan tweeted his condolences or his farewell, let's say, to him.
And knowing AEW's relationship with New Japan, you can read between the lines.
We shall see. We'll keep you posted on that one. But let's move on right now to your Twitter questions at What Culture WWE. Unsurprisingly, centered around we want. No.
Where is he?
Oh, definitely not. Cody, thank you.
Imagine Cody Rhodes being front and centre of some pay-per-views market. Imagine that.
Just baffling, all this. A lot of questions are centering around the same thing, so I've tried to pick sort of different ones. Shout out to Mike Hayward. Thank you for your question, Mike. With the current events and fans' reaction, can you see the fans turning on The Rock? This would have Roman's going into Mania as the face. Or in extreme case, a Goldberg versus Lesnar scenario.
Yeah, well, it's happening, the turn on The Rock. There's a million points to talk about, and it does feel all scatterbrained, there's so many takes. But yeah, one of the saddest things right now, we're a few months out from Rock versus Roman Reigns, is that it doesn't feel like the building will want a winner. Like Roman Reigns,
people want to see this match though. This is the thing. Not. What's wrong with 41?
The delivery method and the context of it just feels all wrong, doesn't it? You've got Roman Reigns, a champion that, like, ultimately, and you've experienced this firsthand out front in front of people, and we've both experienced this at different WrestleManias.
Yes.
Roman winning at the end is kind of a vibe killer for the whole thing, because traditionally it used to be the night where the babyface triumphed, and now we're all these years into the title reign, and you would assume Roman beats The Rock. If The Rock wins, it's going to feel like he's taking somebody else's spot. Your face just turned there. It's as if you haven't considered that across the whole weekend.
But it's like, I mean, Brock's one thing, but you don't have Kane and The Undertaker's streak, for example. You have someone, Edge's name, Wade Barrett was suggested a long time ago, someone who needs this. Cody doesn't need it, but it shouldn't be a legend that comes back and goes, thanks for that, amazing achievement.
I love that.
I'll go back to not wrestling anymore now.
There doesn't seem to be an outcome that will have the fans.
There is an outcome. You just say, actually, we're going to do the Rock Roman at 41. We're going to do a year-long build for it. That's fine. People can get into shape for it because it all feels very sudden. Although rumours are Brian Gewirtz coming into the team and what have you.
Cody Rhodes
has been in the works for a while.
Yeah, want to stop him at WrestleMania.
And you just say, like, at the end of the day, under Papa H, WWE is the listening company. Let's be perfectly honest about this, right? WrestleMania 30, they eventually listened to the fans and gave the crowd favourite the big win.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to brew this company's change with the new regime, you, in the words of Ross Geller, pivot.
So you letting this one play out here?
Well, I'm not letting it play out. It's a work, and they've all done this to get even more of a groundswell of support behind Cody Rhodes.
And that's from the only real journalist. When has he ever been wrong? So,
either way, I don't care. The Rock's probably going to be there one way or another, and I get to go, if you smell,
that's what it is.
That's all I'm really happy about.
But
I would like Cody to finish the story, if I'm perfectly honest.
Your feelings apparently only belong in the comment section and not in the
minds
and the voices of
I've seen Twitter, as if anyone needs any more encouragement to talk about this. Sean Torres, thank you, Sean, for your question. Says, morning, fellas. Yeah, I'm one of those who wants the Rock Roman match, but this is my question. When Cody gets his title win, then what? Fans turn on him quickly like they did Cena, the excitement burns out and he's a paper champion all of a sudden?
Yeah, 2 problems. Well, 50 problems, but here's another one. Like, Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes doesn't massively feel like a main event at WrestleMania either. It's for a belt that, like, on Monday was, is this more prestigious than Roman's? And then on Friday, a complete toy, a trinket, a waste of time. In a match that has had its trilogy, it's had its biggest epic at WrestleMania, it's had its biggest moment, capital M, when Cody revealed the Bruce Diddy. They haven't got a 4th match that will top. Like, I even like the Backlash match.
I was going to say they could put it in a cell. Oh no, wait, they did that.
Done it. Like, it's everybody knows it's secondary to what was going to be Seth versus Punk. It's secondary to what was going to be Cody versus Roman. The one promo made that Seth cut, fantastic, made perfect sense when you thought, well, Cody's not going to go for it. But what an incredible effort getting the belt over.
Yeah.
Like, Cody Rhodes, and there aren't many men I would trust to do this, but Cody Rhodes has got to cut the promo of a lifetime on tonight's Monday Night Raw when
if he wins the Bullrope match, well, Shinsuke Nakamura.
When his confidence and his feeling for all of this must be at like an all-time low.
Damian Priest could fix all this. He could just, as he's about to cash in, as about to announce the match with Seth, he could just cash in.
Yeah, do it.
Well, I've got it now.
Take out Seth's trick knee. Let's really throw things up in the air. Why not? It's all ruined. It's all gone.
And Priest goes, I'm not going to face you. I disagree. So I'm going to face R-Truth, in fact.
Done. Yeah, all right.
And then Cody's like, Logan Paul, I suppose?
T-Pin.
Not Gunther. Not stupid. But yeah, the fans aren't going to... If Cody wins the big one, I know people are going to be like, then what? Then you build up some amazing heels to face him. Like, people said, is he still going to be as over as he is at 39 or 40? And yet, here we are. Like, you have to watch Raw tonight, don't you? You have to see what happens next.
I am Alan Partridge looking down at his James Bond collection covered in Sunny Delight, just going, yeah, it's ruined.
Still though, we've got that press conference on Thursday.
Yeah.
What's going to happen there?
The Rock's going to go, they're going to mute the crowd and they're going to put the graphic up.
I don't know.
It's going to be great.
You know what? Let's focus on something positive for our final question.
Okay.
Thank you as always to the legend that is Jason Dunkel, major fan of the podcast, of course, who also tweeted us saying, can we bring some attention to this? It gives me a warm feeling in my tum-tum. I think we all need that at this time. Big E, I'm so excited for you and the project. Yes, because Big E, friend of the channel, loveliest man in wrestling,
we've still got the sticker.
Yes.
Hooked us up with the stuff.
Promote his brilliant Our Heroes Rock. Shared a video, it's called, where he tweeted, the first time Maya sees the Hall of Heroes, a futuristic museum that celebrates the heroes of Black history. First of all, just a great thing to do. Second of all, it's a fantastic project. I interviewed him to promote this many moons ago.
Yeah.
He couldn't have been nicer, and yeah, go and support him because this is just awesome. And like you say, if you're feeling a bit disillusioned with wrestling right now, push your energies towards that because this is what he's been doing with this project and the guys that we've spoken to before that he's worked with as well.
Jonathan Davenport,
yes.
Heart to Heart Design, Andreas Hale, and Big E. It's across all their Twitters. It's across everywhere at the moment. If you search Our Heroes Rock anywhere on Twitter, you'll find it. It's fantastic. It's such a noble project, and as you say, not just and I don't want to equate these two things ultimately, but not just the Cody Rhodes thing, but lots of the other really unpleasant news in wrestling. If you don't or can't take any of that, go instead and engage with Our Heroes Rock. It's absolutely fantastic. Big E, you're welcome back to plug away anytime you want through his channel as well.
And thank you to Jason for reminding us to mention this because just a brilliant project that deserves all the support you can give it. Right, have it out in the comments. Hashtag we want Cody. Remember I sent you. We'll be covering this as all the fallout keeps going, but for now why don't you check out this video. We'll see you later.